and the timeline of President Trump's wall along the southern border becoming clearer. The wall could cost as much as $21.6 billion and take more than 3 years to build. This is according to an internal DHS report seen by Reuters. The specifics outlined in the report, though, are at odds with figures presented by Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and DHS Secretary John Kelly.
The Speaker pointed out to our group yesterday with
border supplemental.
Yeah, of roughly
12 to 15.
Yeah, 12 to 15 billion dollars. So we intend to address the wall issue ourselves.
I think it'll be built where it's needed most first, and then filled in. That's how I'm looking at it. I really hope to have it done within the next 2 years.
Joining us right now to weigh in, retired Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer. Colonel, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Maria.
What do you make of this discrepancy between what was initially proposed for the timeline and the cost and now this new document from the Department of Homeland Security?
Yeah, two things. First, I agree with John Kelly. General Kelly has a clear vision for what's going to happen. And let's remember who we're dealing with here. President Trump has a record of building big things and coming in early and under budget. So, look, these numbers are from the previous administration. This administration hasn't had time to actually do a detailed assessment. And the other thing I'll say is, look, we've already started the border wall. People tend to forget that this actually started under George Bush. I actually worked as a consultant with Boeing when Boeing was looking at some of the issues of how we do essentially a layered, in-depth defense of the wall. You can't simply build a wall. You got to look at what's beyond the wall and do some intelligence collection to do that. And John Kelly's the right guy to do that. So I'm skeptical of the internal report. I think you're going to see it. It may not be as cheap as the president says. I think it'll be close, though, closer to the president's estimate than this report.
Tony, this is Mike Huckabee. Don't you think a lot of these estimates are based on the fact that the previous administration didn't want to build a wall, so they jack up the cost? And you've made the point that Donald Trump has a history of pushing people to get it under budget and bring it in, on schedule.
Yeah, Mike, no, you're absolutely correct. And I look at the team. Look at John Kelly, look at his record, look at President Trump, and I think you're going to see people who are motivated to do the right thing, to fulfill the campaign promise, and most importantly, to make it done effectively so. This is not about simply building the wall and hoping for the best. This is about doing that hard work, Governor, that you know has to be done to actually build something like this that has to be effective. And again, let me say this for your audience, and some people aren't going to like this. You're going to have to look at Mexico as an intelligence target. You're going to have to figure out where people are staging, where people are coming through, where drug groups are going to be kind of channelizing. When you build a wall, you channelize things. But that gives you an opportunity to be more aggressive in stopping things. So I think this is all good news.
But both you guys talk about the federal government as if it's a little tugboat that's easy to turn. Instead, it's more like the continent of Australia in terms of like getting things done. Because Donald Trump, when he's a private businessman, making decisions is a lot easier and executing on those decisions versus working in a bureaucracy the size of the U.S.
It's a great point, but I'll say this. Look at what we did during World War II with our mind set on doing something right. The Manhattan Project, the project to put together the first atomic weapons, happened in less than 3 years. So I will cite for you the ability of the federal government and of the Department of Defense, at the time DHS didn't exist, of men who were committed. Leslie Groves, General Groves, understood how to make the bureaucracy work. So if you this is all about leadership to get things done. If you put the right people in charge with the right authorities, you will be amazed what can be done by any government.
Tony, this is Taya. I'm curious about the cost. Hi. I'm curious about the cost of this $21.6 billion. Are you going to pay for it with income tax from imports, exports, import and export tax from Mexico? How are they going to pay for this?
I think there's three ways. First, I think there's already been money in the budget. I mean, this wall has been approved for a while, so I think you just have to find some of the budget which exists. And then, frankly, you're going to have to find some creative ways to do it. And, look, Mexico can lose. I think if we decided to play hardball with Mexico, they would suffer far more severely than we will economically. So I think there has to be a reckoning, if you will, with Mexico to say, look, you are part of the problem here. We need to find a way to pay for this. And I think you need to use some leverage with Mexico. I don't have the answer, but I think we have to do something like that.
I think you make such an important point. The other day I said to myself, can you come up with a scenario where Mexico does really well being against the United States?
No.
I don't think there's a scenario.